Well, back to another Fed, and it's this Fed, the one we do every year, and get it horribly wrong. Last year it was horribly wrong, right? It was 0 out of 12. That was fucking shocking. But this year, right, I couldn't really give a shit about from 12th to 3rd, because in my opinion it matters about the fucking top two. And it's all about stopping 10 in a row, so I'm not going to waste any time here. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about the teams from 12th to 3rd, because I really couldn't care. You know what I mean? I couldn't. Be interesting to see what Dundee United do. Obviously, Hearts relegated. Brilliant that was. Screw job, but they've also got to make sure that they finish the cup. You know what I mean? Because they need to ensure that Celtic get the treble. Like, fuck, we can't. I mean, we can happily shaft Hearts and all the other teams that got relegated. But you know, Celtic need the cup, brother. Oh, brother. But now, finally getting stuck straight in to the league table in 12th place. I am going with Hamilton. For the simple fact is, they would have been down last year if Hearts weren't so shit, and also if they actually continued the league. I believe Hamilton would be sitting in the Championship. So I don't see that changing this season. I do believe they're the weakest team in the league, and they're shit. But to be honest, I say that, I mean, it's not like Ross County, you know what I mean, or a leagues above them, and I mean, I think those two are by far the worst. Like, so yeah, Hamilton in 12th, and therefore that is why I'm putting Ross County in 11th. They will go into that playoff against the other teams in the Championship if we ever. Because what's going to happen? Like, we're kind of going into the unknown. You know what I mean? This seat, it could be interrupted at the winter break if Captain Corona comes back for another second wave in the winter. Like, so that'll be weird to see, interesting to see in a way. But yeah, that is it for 11th and 12th place. Now moving into the rest of the bottom six, we have got St Mirren in 10th, and I just believe. I mean, I think. I mean, more or less, it's going to be similar to previous years, like, isn't it? I mean, that is what it's going to boil down to. I just think St Mirren. I mean, I think they're just better than than Ross County and Hamilton. I mean, it's quite a lot like with these teams. I mean, like my decision to put Kilmarnock in at 8th. I wouldn't be surprised if Kilmarnock got into the top 6, but again, they were pretty shit last season. You know what I mean? Especially having to adjust life without Stevie Boy. Clark, like, it was never going to be easy for Kelly, like, without him, which, to be fair, like, and obviously, and hopefully he can actually get the job done managing Scotland, which, I mean, I'm actually, I mean, if there's a year to fucking do it for Scotland to actually get into a tournament, it would be in 2020, because fuck knows, man, everything else has happened in this year, which is, to be honest, quite fucking mental. But if you also think of it, I mean, it's literally, I mean, what is it? It's literally spot on to what last season was, apart from the fact I've put Livingston way down. I just don't think Livingston are going to do that good. But Kelly finished 8th last season, St Johnstone 7th, so that's my logic behind that. I do think Livingston are going to drop off. That's just my personal opinion. I think they're going to lose a few players. I think they're going to lose Dykes. Now, if that's the Rangers or if it's not the Rangers, who knows what the score is there. But that is my decisions there for the top 6, and now going, no, the bottom 6 even. Now going into the top 6, we'll do the next 4, then we'll reveal the big 2, because that is what everyone's here for. Like, couldn't really give a shit about the bottom 6, could we? Now moving on to 6 through 3rd, and we kick off with Hibs in 6th place. Now we all know most clubs are going to struggle during this pandemic financially. I mean, fucking more or less every club, like, you know what I mean, if you're not getting a gate, and that goes for every league in the world, everyone's going to be losing out on money, apart from your clubs that are owned by your sheiks, all the blood money in the world. They'll all be alright. But Hibs are a team that are struggling, you know what I mean? They were struggling, they let go of their kit man, and then they brought in free signings, just straight back to struggling. Hearts tried to take their signings off them, which to be honest I found was pretty funny. But they did get Kevin Nesbitt from Dunfermline, and a few other players. I mean, I'm not fucking exactly kept 120% up to date with Hibs, but I believe they will finish in the top 6, even it is the lower regions. Moving on though to 5th, I was actually debating putting these in further up the list, but they did get rid of Robbie Nielsen. Well, I say get rid, he got rid of them. He went back to Hearts. Fuck knows why, man. The guy has a championship fetish, and that's kind of the bottom line in that respect. But I think Shankland, I mean, Dundee United have got a good team, like, But I think Shankland's goals are just gonna carry them. I mean, it's not like they've just got Shankland. I mean, Nicky Clark as well. He gets a lot of goals. I mean, the other day they beat the Rangers B team, which I mean, it's not exactly to write home about, like beating the B team, but you know what I mean. Like, I do think Dundee United are going to do no bad. You know what I mean? Like, so Dundee United are going in 5th place. Now moving into 4th place, we have got Motherwell. Definitely fantastic season last year. Like, you cannot complain about it if you're a Motherwell fan. Finishing 3rd, no one expected that. I mean, especially not me. Like, I mean, I think every year it's. I mean, I know I said Hearts had the third best squad, but you more or less expect Aberdeen to finish 3rd, because I don't know, the past couple of seasons, like, Hearts have just been pish, and that's kind of just been summed up by the relegation. So for Motherwell to jump in there and actually get 3rd place was shocking, but I see no reason why they'll not keep that up. You know what I mean? Like, their high standards up. So that's why I'm putting them in at 4th. I mean, they may not like, they may know. But moving in though to number 3, and that is Aberdeen. Now this, actually, it depends if they get rid of Cosgrove or not, because I mean, Aberdeen, a lot of the players are going on wage cuts. I mean, I've seen the day. It was to save a further $1 million, so they could be fucking selling players. I mean, they already agreed to sell Cosgrove to some League 2, League 2, whatever the hell you want to call it. But he rejected it, like, so, I mean, $2 million, like, for Aberdeen, we're going to get I think you could get more for him, but I mean, it's like Aberdeen, the types of clubs, I mean, aren't Rangers and Celtic, you're not going to be able to hold out for big bucks, you know what I mean? That's kind of the bottom line, but I think it does depend. You know, of course it depends on the transfers. I mean, you see the fact it's open to the 8th of October, like, that just changes the whole fucking season. You know what I mean? Like, because if Shankland kicks off the season, I think he has 20 goals by the end of September, which is unlikely, but, you know, it could happen. Anyone could fucking... Edward Morelos could do it, right? But, I mean, he could be gone, and therefore Dundee United finishing 5th may not happen. But then again, if he gets 20 goals, they'll probably be top of the league by that stage of the game, like, but there you go. But yeah, that'll do it then for this. The teams that don't really matter, in my opinion, because now it's getting stuck into the top 2. Will Rangers, in my opinion, stop 10 in a row and get 55? Well, let's find out, Mean Gene. And the team that will win the league is the team that's just put this ball in the back of the net. Not Jermaine Defoe FC or anything. It's Rangers. I'm putting us to fucking win it. 55. 10 in a row stopped, right? Now, I know come the end of the season, this will be out of context, you know what I mean? One of those pages, you know what I mean? Even though, I mean, it probably won't happen. But I just think 10 in a row, no one's ever done it. You know what I mean? Every time it seems like it's going to get done, it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And I think history's going to repeat itself. I think we're going to get the job done. I think it's all going to click. I think Stevie G is going to win us the league, and then he's going to leave. That is my prediction. Well, he might not leave, like, but I mean, I definitely could see him if he won us the league. He'd be like, right, well, saying that, yeah, he signed that deal, so he won't leave. But I do think, right, when Klopp's time at Liverpool comes, that's when Stevie G will leave us. Like, but in terms of Celtic, they didn't look good in pre-season. We actually looked great in pre-season. Yeah, again, yes, it's just pre-season. I get that, right? But I mean, in this weird season, this weird-ass season, fitness right at the start. I mean, if we build a lead at the start, even though we'll probably get beat to Aberdeen, Celtic will win their home game against Hamilton and the league's done. I mean, I'll be saying it's over, you know, one of those ones. But, yeah, I think it all depends on the start. You know what I mean? This team doesn't know what it's like to have a gap over Celtic and need to hold on to it. That will show fucking that balls, that will show metal, that will show all the above. I mean, Celtic, see, once Celtic get a lead in this title race, I think it's done, right? So, fucking, let's up the ante on them, make them sweat, you know what I mean, get the job done over them, and with Defoe being injured now, I don't know how long, hamstring, whatever, need to make maybe a couple of signs. Celtic got rid of Gordon, Foster's loans run out, Scott Bain has looked pish, they'll be needing to bring in a goalie, so hopefully they don't bring in a goalie, but, I mean, they probably will. And also, it'll be interesting to see what happens in Europe. You know what I mean? There's loads of variables involved here. Celtic could get into the Champions League group stages. We could get knocked out in the qualification rounds, which means, see if we do get knocked out, right, there is no fucking excuse not to win the league. You know what I mean? Because, see, juggling Europe and the league, it is tough. I mean, I wouldn't say you can use Europe as an excuse, like, but I mean, you would literally, right, fuck the cups, we're not in Europe, it's just all out in the league, no excuses. I mean, that's the bottom line, that's what you do. I mean, so that would be one positive of going out of Europe, just a complete and utterly focus on the league. Gotta stop, but even that, like, I mean, it's gotta be focused on the league, because you can't let 10 in a row happen, so, I mean, fuck Europa League final, not that we're getting to it, but you get my point. But anyway, that'll do it for my Scottish Premiership 2020-2021 predictions. Mental that we're into the 2020s, even though it was like 7 months ago, but aye, you know what I mean. But I'm going for us to get 55. Fuck it, I'm putting my neck on the line. We're going to do it. As Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, we're going to do this. But I mean it, Arsenal are pish. Rangers are going to get the job done, and that's the bottom line. So until next time, peace.